Hello everyone, this is Dr. Dhanashree Mari and today we are going to discuss a very important topic. Now it's not only important from exam point of view but also we are getting a lot number of cases in our day-to-day life and that's where the topic become important. So before we start, if you like the video please do hit that like button and let me know in the comment section below. So without further delay, let's get started.
Topic is coronavirus. So what is this name corona comes from? So you know that our king they used to have crowns like this, isn't it? So these are the small blobs that are present. These are the blobs. So they exactly similar with the spikes of the virus. If you see the virus under electron microscopy, you'll see exactly similar kind of blobs, or you can say spike, and that's where the name corona come into existence. So corona basically means crown or hollow, and this is how the name corona come into existence. So it is also known as COVID-19. So it is also known as COVID-19. So what is this COVID-19 means? So co stands for corona, V stands for virus, and 19 because we all know that the first case of this COVID-19 we got in the Wuhan city of the China on the December 1st, 2019. We know this as a COVID-19. And not like that the virus was not there before. The virus was there before. So the virus was there in the 2002. So virus was there in the form of SARS-CoV. So what is this SARS-CoV? Severe acute respiratory syndrome. So this is thought because of the bats. And it got mutated over a period of time in 2013. It is known as MERS-CoV. So what is this MERS-CoV? MERS-CoV is nothing but Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. So it is thought because of camel. And again the virus got mutated in the year 2019. So in the form of SARS-CoV-2. So see, virus was there in the year 2002 also. Virus was there in the year 2013 also. So what is this that has made this virus so popular in year 2019 only? So this is because this newly mutated form, this SARS-CoV-2 is newly mutated form, has got two very important properties. So first is it's a highly evolved virus. And the second thing is that it has got a replicative potential. What do you mean by replicative potential? From 1%, if it is spreading to 2, again that 2% is spreading to 4, and this way it is increasing. So this is known as replicative potential. So this is how the virus is replicating day by day, and that's why the virus became so popular in year 2019. Now all of us now knowing that the virus is in the year 2019 newly mutated, and that's why we call it as a novel coronavirus. So what do you mean by novel coronavirus? Novel means nothing but the new. So this newly mutated form is known as novel coronavirus. So this is how the name novel come into existence. So let's see about the spread of the virus. So how this virus spread? So initially they used to thought that it's because of the seafood, and that's why they closed the wet market which is there in the China. But later on they found that no, it's not like that. So the lots of assumption was made, like it's because of bat, it's because of the seaweed, it's because of camel, and so on. And of course most important mode we cannot forget is person to person mode. Person to person mode. So this person to person mode, how it is spreading? So it's spreading basically because of droplets. So these droplets, they do play important role in the spread of this disease. Now the droplets, they are of two types. Small droplet with the size 2 micron, whereas your larger droplet with the size 100 micron. So this is an important role in the spreading disease. Why so? Because the small virus, they are very small, so they can spread easily from one person to another person, the air itself. But the large virus, so see, we have seen that in the physics also, the Newton has given the laws of gravity. So because of this going on to the surface. So let's suppose this is on the surface. So this has contaminated this surface locally. So any surface, okay, any surface like your furniture, your glass, anything, so that's get contaminated locally, and over a period of time this virus they get evaporated also because of the sun, it gets evaporated. But in a meanwhile, if somebody comes and touch to this surface, and again unfortunately that person touching to the nose, mouth, so this spread occurs. So this kind of spread is known as fomite spread. So this kind of spread is known as fomite spread. So fomite spread is basically more common with the larger droplet, whereas person to person spread is more common with the smaller droplet. So this is how virus they do spread. Normally what happens is when you breathe inside, the oxygen they go particularly in the lung and more specifically to the alveoli. So what is happening in this level? So let's see the alveoli in the zoom in view. So this is our alveoli consisting of type 1 cell and type 2 cell. So type 1 pneumocyte, they are present in maximum number, okay, they are present in 95% of these cases, and these are made up of squamous cell. And the type 2, they are only 5%. You can see here cuboidal type, and they have got a very important property that secretes the surfactant. So it secretes the surfactant. So surfactant has got a very important role, and that is nothing but decreasing surface tension. So whenever there is decrease in the surface tension, no matter how much collapsing pressure it is getting, okay, so it's getting collapsing pressure, but because of this surfactant that is present there, the alveoli they maintain the shape, they maintain the constant shape, and this shape don't change. So this is how it functions. But when this virus comes inside, they usually bind with the human cell. These spikes they bind with the host cell. So this virus goes into the lung and into the alveoli, and more particularly initially it affects the type 2 pneumocyte. So it blocks the type 2 pneumocyte. So type 2 pneumocyte stops secreting this surfactant. Now surfactant is not there, so obviously surface tension will increase. So this is now pathology. So until now it was physiology, this is pathology. Surface tension will increase. So whenever there is an increase in surface tension, let's suppose here the surfactant is not there. Surfactant is now, it's not there. So your surface tension is more and collapsing pressure is increasing. So because of this increase in the collapsing pressure, alveoli, they changes its shape. And because of this increasing pressure and smaller size of alveoli, oxygen concentration decreases. So whenever there is decrease in the oxygen concentration, as you can see here, it activates the sympathetic system of our body. So sympathetic system, whenever the sympathetic system gets activated, you have chronotropic effect, you have dromotropic effect, and you have ionotropic effect. So that will be increase in the heart rate and in the respiratory rate. So until now we have seen the physiology. Now we'll move on towards the pathology. So virus is now entered to the alveolus and particularly to the type 2 pneumocytes, and this type 2 pneumocyte has got ACE2 receptor. These are nothing but angiotensin converting enzyme receptor, and this virus they bind with this receptor, and upon binding they'll lose this nucleocuspid protein outside only, and the only thing that enters is single stranded RNA. Now this single stranded RNA has to do two things now. So in the presence of RNA dependent RNA polymerase, so name itself is indicating RNA dependent, it's depend upon the RNA polymerase, that is it's polymerizing the RNA. So many such single stranded RNA is formed. So the second thing is that with the host ribosome they will combine this single stranded RNA, they will combine with the host ribosome to form the protein, because in the biochemistry we have learned that whenever the ribosome and the ribonucleic acid they do combine, they will undergo the process called as translation to form the protein. So when many such protein they combine, they will form the polyprotein, and this polyprotein in the presence of enzyme proteases break down the protein. So the polyprotein gets break down to form the small viral assembly part. So these are nothing but the enzyme, proteins and the nucleocuspid layers. So this when combines with this single stranded RNA, they will form the virus, and this virus is now ready to infect the another cell. So this is what the thing is happening. But at the same time, our body release the macrophage in response to this virus. So these macrophage that is further responsible for releasing the interleukin 1, interleukin 6. So these interleukin 1 and the interleukin 6, they increase the capillary permeability. So whenever this capillary permeability is increased, whatever content that are there in the capillaries, they are liberated here into the interstitial space. And we already have seen that because this virus infect the type 2 pneumocyte is not secreting surfactant, so there will be increase in the pressure outside. So because of this increase in pressure, the patient will feel the difficulty in breathing, and that's where we get the symptom as dyspnea. Similarly, this also releases the tumor necrotic factor alpha. So this tumor necrotic factor alpha that is responsible for release of this neutrophil, and we have seen that the neutrophil they usually cause damage to alveolar cell. So alveolar cell gets damaged, and now whatever content that are there in the interstitial space that enters inside to the alveolus. So the content that are entering to the alveolus is responsible to cause the cough. And that's why we can see even on the consolidation, we can get even on the CT scan, X-ray, we can see the consolidation. This inflammatory mediator, they go with the brain, and the brain has got a center called as hypothalamus. It is nothing but the temperature regulatory center. So this temperature regulating center, they will increase the temperature, and where will get the another symptom, that is fever. So patient will have fever because of this pyrogen. So this inflammatory mediator also causes the inflammatory immune response, and this systemic inflammatory response syndrome that is responsible for causing the hypotension. So whenever there is a hypotension, there will be decrease in the perfusion to the organs. So decrease in the perfusion to the organs. So what organs are affected? Almost all the organs are affected, but more particularly it will affect to the GIT. Whenever it affects to the GIT, you will get nausea, vomiting and diarrhea. When the kidney is affected, the creatinine level in the kidney will increase. Also, the blood, BUN stand for blood urea nitrogen, that is also increasing. And of course, the liver. In the liver, they will cause increase in the alanine transferase, aspartate transaminase, lactic dehydrogenase, C-reactive protein and fibrinogen. So this is how the changes are occurring in various organs. The diagnosis of this particular disease is basically with the nasopharyngeal swab. So this virus is also present in the semen, in the eye fluid, but particularly we'll take the nasopharyngeal swab. The only disadvantage that is associated with this nasopharyngeal swab is more time will require to get the reports, and that's why gold standard is considered to the reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. Now this virus is also seen on the CT scan. So what is this? You might be knowing that this is nothing but these are the paver blocks. So exactly similar appearance, can you appreciate this? Exactly similar appearance you are getting on the CT scan. So that is nothing but crazy paving like appearance. So on the CT scan you can also see the consolidation. This consolidation area, and why this consolidation occurs. So if you remember in the pathophysiology, I told because of the accumulation of the fluid inside the alveolus, we get the consolidation area, and that is the reason why we have this consolidation. On the X-ray also it shows similar kind of consolidation. So white opaque line they are showing, and the similar consolidation can be seen on the X-ray. Now the diagnosis as a X-ray is not given for any case, but it's only like that it can be appreciated on X-ray as well. But not only this, like you are getting same kind of opacities in the bronchogenic carcinoma also. So it is not only diagnosis of coronavirus particularly, but in the coronavirus you can get this findings. So this is highly sensitive. So usually it is not done. We'll go with the reverse transcriptase PCR, but it is expensive. That's the thing. And on the ultrasonography we can see the B lines and consolidation. So now moving on to the treatment aspect, but before that, prevention is always better than cure. So we need to avoid this by using mouth mask and facial shield frequently and proper hand washing technique, using 70% alcohol based hand sanitizer and personal protection equipment kit. This way we need to follow all the public measures given by government. So now coming to the treatment part, in the true sense, the treatment is not required. Only the isolation thing is more than enough. So if you want to give the treatment, then it should be only symptomatic. So the patient should be given first generation antihistaminics like promethazine, hydroxyzine, diphenhydramine, dimenhydrinate and meslocillin. Those patients who is having pain, who is having swelling should be given non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. And antiviral, of course, this is the heart of the treatment. So antiviral drug should be given like interferon alpha, ribavirin, and this chloroquine and this hydroxyquine. They are really acting like a queen, because initially we used to give them for the malaria. So later on it is found that these drugs has got immunomodulatory effect, and because of this immunomodulatory effect we use the same drug for autoimmune diseases. And nowadays it is very much useful for treating the coronavirus infection. So antibiotics. So all of you might be wondering why I have written antibiotic, because it's a viral infection. So antibiotics we need to give because already the immune response is suppressed and the individual has got this particular disease. So in order to prevent the super added bacterial infection, we need to give the antibiotics. So plasma therapy, for those who are already recovered from this disease, the plasma is taken and the vaccine. So our scientists, they are trying very hard to create a vaccine. So they are trying for the recombinant DNA vaccine, they are trying for RNA vaccines, but until the time vaccine gets launched, we need to be very careful. So till the time, please be safe, be happy, stay at home.
So we'll see summary briefly. So this virus is known as coronavirus, meaning that it resembles like a crown of the king. As you can see the spike of the virus, it resembles like a crown of the king. It is known as COVID-19 because the first case we got in the December 1st, 2019 in the Wuhan city of China. So because it is newly mutated in the year 2019 in the form of SARS-CoV-2, this is also known as novel coronavirus. Novel means new. The spread occurs through bat, camel, civet, but person to person is a most important spread. Droplet, they do play important role in this. Smaller droplet, person to person mode of spread is more common, whereas larger droplet, because of the weight, they used to fall in direction of the gravity, and because of this the larger droplet they involve in the fomite spread. Fomite spread is nothing but the spread which is occurring through the surfaces is known as fomite spread. So alveolar cell, there are two types of alveolar cell, type 1 pneumocyte that is involving in the gaseous exchange, and type 2 pneumocyte which is roughly cuboidal involving in the secretion of the pulmonary surfactant. So these pulmonary surfactant, they decrease the surface tension. Whenever the surface tension decrease, there will be decrease in the collapsing pressure. So whenever the collapsing pressure decrease, alveoli they maintain the shape and everything goes on normal. But this virus comes and they affect and they act on the type 2 pneumocyte, which stops releasing the surfactant. Now surfactant is not there, so surface tension will increase, collapsing pressure will increase, and patient will feel dyspnea. So this is how we get dyspnea. The macrophage, they release the interleukin 1, 6, anti-NF alpha, which activate the hypothalamic center that is there in the brain and ultimately resulting into the fever. So this is how the patient will get fever, and the accumulation of the capillary fluid because of the leakage in the capillary into the interstitial space and as well as into the alveoli will be responsible for dyspnea and the cough. So that is why the patient will get cough, dyspnea, fever, and you can see the consolidation on the actual CT scan and X-ray. So because of the decrease in the oxygen concentration, there will be activation of sympathetic system. So there are three types of effect that do occur here: chronotropic, inotropic, and dromotropic effect, which is responsible for increasing the heart rate and respiratory rate. So this is responsible for releasing of systemic inflammatory response syndrome, and this will cause hypotension, will obviously decrease the perfusion to the organs. So what are the organs affected? So almost all the organs are affected, but more particularly it will affect the GIT, causing nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea as we get in the any else disease. As well as the liver will secrete the alanine transferase, aspartate transferase, lactate dehydrogenase, and C-reactive protein with fibrinogen. Kidney will secrete increase in the blood, will secrete the creatinine, and there will be increase in the blood urea nitrogen level. The diagnosis is made by using nasopharyngeal swab, reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction is playing the gold standard, and the CT scan will have the crazy paving like appearance. As you can see the paper block over here, exactly similar kind of appearance you'll get in the CT scan, and the consolidation that is seen in the CT scan can also be seen on the X-ray. But of course X-ray is not advisable for the diagnosis of this disease, and that's why the reverse transcriptase PCR, they do play important role, but it can be seen on the X-ray. But this radio opacity you can also get in the bronchogenic carcinoma. So this is not the only diagnostic of this coronavirus, but yeah, in the coronavirus this is seen. So ultrasonography, B-line and consolidation can be seen on the ultrasonography. Treatment is not really required. Only thing is you need to have the isolation is more than enough, but you can give the first generation antihistaminics like diphenhydramine, dimenhydrinate, promethazine, hydroxyzine. NSAID is given to the patient who is really having the pain and swelling. Antiviral drug is the heart of this disease, and interferon alpha, ribavirin, chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine. While giving this drug, you need to overweigh the benefits over the risk, and the antibiotic is given to those which are suspected to have the superadded infection. Plasma therapy of the previously recovered patient is really helpful. Vaccine is under the trial, and thank you all for listening so calmly and patiently.